is a video walkthrough on how to steal the Bulletproof Cheetah. Believe it or not, this vehicle, if you don't know it already, is um, armored and you can't hurt it with any weapons in the game. Okay, the first thing you gotta do is go take the El Burro's first race, Turismo. Okay, this race, I'm actually doing this in the beginning of my game. The beauty of it is even if you've gotten past all of the Burrows missions, you can do this anytime because you can always repeat this race after you've finished all the El Burro missions. So what we're going to do is we're going to drive. We're not going to go to the race as the game is instructing us to. Instead, we're going to go into Trenton. By the way, if you're wondering where I got the Yakuza Stinger so early, I got it from doing fire truck missions, even though I don't have access to starting. So as you can see, we're going past Joey's and we're going toward Atlantic Keys, but we're still in Trenton, and we're going to grab ourselves a bus. Well, actually a coach, I'm sorry. The bus is no good because it's too light. And what we're going to do is like I said, we're not starting the race. We're taking the coach, and we're going to drive it into Chinatown by the old school. That's where you do the mission Fuzzball, in case you wanted to know. That's where you got to drop off the hookers for the mission for Luigi. That's also very early in the game. So what we're doing is we're going toward the starting point of the race, and we're not going to sit there and wait for it to start. We're just going to tap these cars and that'll automatically start the race, and we're going the other way, obviously, heading toward the Portland hideout in the red light district. And this is a really handy vehicle, particularly if you want to drive through St. Mark's later in the game when you're when they're shooting shotguns at you and blowing your car up. This vehicle will withstand any weapons. I will warn you though, it's not crash proof. You can still blow it up by crashing it just like you can any other sports car, any other car in the game. Oops, my coach got stuck on that lamppost, a little glitchy. Now what we're going to do is in order to do this, we're going to put the coach there at an angle going from north to south. Okay, because you want the competitors in that race to hit it and flip over going into the hideout. Now we got plenty of time. They won't even start coming around that turn heading into this area until I would say about 87 seconds or so. We're at about 65 now. So, by the way, I parked the ambulance in there just beforehand. I didn't tell you that. I'm going to show you a failed attempt. I did this about 5 times before I got it. I'll explain why in a second. If you look, the bus just disappeared right out of my garage, so I have to now fail the mission, reload it again, and blah blah blah. So now I did it. I didn't even show the whole thing. So now I'm going into the garage again, getting an ambulance. This was after trying it again, by the way. And you notice the coach is still there. It's very, very important. When I back out and set this up, you got to realize that what you have to do is you have to turn the Cheetah over. Unless you're using a tank and blowing it up, which I don't have access to right now. If you blow it up, then you can obviously push the dead husk into your hideout. But in this instance, you have to turn the Cheetah over. Okay, we're at 87 seconds. It's still not coming. It'll come in the 90s or so. Let's see, we're at 94 seconds, and it should come. Here we go. And that one didn't fall for my trap. Well, let's hope the other one will. And what do you know? See? Just like it has to, it turned right over into my hideout. Now, this gets a little tricky, so I'm going to switch to a top-down view, which is very annoying and cumbersome to use, but it's important, because if you don't use a top-down view, chances are this vehicle is going to disappear from your screen. Notice it's not blowing up, and it won't blow up. It's bulletproof. It won't blow up until you own it, and it's flipped over. But you notice I'm trying to get it as straight as possible, and you may not see it by looking at the screen now, but I'm having a hell of a time getting the ambulance to turn just a little bit to the right to nudge the back of the car. Why am I having trouble? Well, simply because it's on an incline, and the vehicles in this game could be a little on the glitchy side. See how it wants to go to the left there? Or the right of the screen. Anyway, I'm waiting now to fail the mission. By the way, what I just did there was really stupid. It was an accident. You don't want to let this vehicle off your screen because you have a better than 50% chance it's going to disappear. In this case, it did. So while I'm waiting to fail the mission, by the way, you have to fail the mission before you can steal the vehicle. I'm just setting it up and fine-tuning the direction of it. Okay, now I failed the mission. The Diablo is getting out of the car, and I'm just going to finish up centering it so that I can push it into the garage the way it is. And again, I'm still having a hell of a time getting the ambulance to go in the direction I want it to. But, and by the way, you can also lose the vehicle. It'll sometimes disappear halfway into your garage. Like I said, it took me 5 times to do this before I was able to actually get this. And as you see, I'm pushing it very carefully into the garage, and voila, now it's in the garage, we hope. Sometimes it'll actually disappear, but in this case it didn't. Okay, now once as long as that's there like that, it's yours forever. Well, actually that's not entirely true with some of the vehicles, but that's another story. Okay, now I'll show you something really cool. I'm going to back the vehicle out of the garage. And when I say bulletproof, I mean it's every weapon proof. So, I'll toggle to the rocket launcher first. And, oops. It's knocking me down, but it doesn't seem to be bothering the car. As you can see, those are direct hits with the rocket launcher and nothing. Now we'll switch to the M16. And the same thing. So it's completely bulletproof, rocket proof, grenade proof, flamethrower proof, everything proof. The only thing you gotta remember is you can damage it and you can destroy the vehicle by, if you turn it over, it'll catch on fire. And if you crash the vehicle too much, it'll obviously catch on fire and it'll be destroyed. So, you put it in your garage.